Welcome back, everyone. Here to another season preview. Most of the fall sports here at Vanguard Athletics are up and running. One more to get started, and for that, we turn to head coach Bryan Wilkins of the cross-country teams because his squads are ready to get going. And Bryan, how was your summer and how was recruiting this year?
Summer was really good. Our athletes trained exceptionally well, and we've got a great recruiting class. We've got 9 new athletes for cross, 5 new women, 4 new men, and I believe 10 returners, so it's a pretty good blend of newbies and returners. And they trained really well over the summer. I was super impressed with just the quality of training and the accountability that they had.
How excited are you going into this season after last year? We had a couple guys go up to the national tournament, and the women's team, maybe not necessarily surprised, but they did get up to the national tournament as a team as well.
Right. So very excited. Our top 2 guys are returning. Justin Bartlebaugh and Evan Hernandez are back in the mix. Those were our qualifiers last year for the men, and they're leading the team again this year. After that, we've got a solid core of guys. So Brandon Tressler, one of our returners and senior, is going to be in that mix, and then a lot of new guys and a handful of other returners. So I think our pack is actually going to be stronger and deeper this year than what we saw last year. So hopefully that's going to equate to a team that does better at the conference level, and maybe we get a little better representation at nationals as well.
For sure.
On the women's side, 2 of our top 5 ladies are back, and that is Justina Morales and India Moores, and they're looking really, really good right now. So they're out front. There's a little bit of a gap after them, but then again, the women have a strong pack of returners and new runners that are going to be filling those 3, 4, 5 spots. So the women are I think going to surprise some people this year, and we're hoping to have a season that is equal or better than last year.
Totally. Now, speaking of the season, before we get into Friday's event, you guys went up to Mammoth again, the annual trip. How was that?
It was great. We love that week. It's one of the highlights of the year for the athletes. They love being up in Mammoth. The weather was like perfect. It's the best year we've had in quite some time in terms of air quality. No fires burning up there, so it was pristine. A lot of great training and a lot of good food. A lot of team bonding took place. An incredibly powerful devotional time up there. So I feel like this team is just really well integrated for 3 weeks in, and super unified, and obviously Christ at the center of this team is what we want to see, and we're ready to roll. Yeah, Mammoth was awesome.
Nice that you had good weather considering it's been scorching around here the past week, so glad you got up there before we probably got too disgusting up there in the mountains. So obviously the first event, maybe not the most exciting for the year, but certainly in terms of Vanguard, because it's our own event, the 31st Annual Vanguard Cross Country Invitational, this upcoming Friday. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, we're super excited about this meet, just because it's really special to host a meet, and we get a lot of students and faculty, other athletic programs from Vanguard that come out and support us, a lot of family. So it's a fun atmosphere for us. It's kind of celebratory, and we're kicking off the season with our home meet, so I love it. I think there's no better way to start the season. And we're back at Irvine Regional Park, which is the place we love to be. We were at Mile Square in Fountain Valley last year, so we like this course a little bit better. And it's an awesome venue, and our competition level is going to be up this year. I think we had about 7 teams last year. We're going to be double that this year. So we've got 15 men's teams entered and 13 women. So it's going to be a bigger, broader, deeper field, a little bit more competitive, and yeah, we're excited about it. We're ready to go.
Hey, just sent us the team list on email a few minutes ago. I was looking over, got some big name schools in there, so that'll be fun. Describe a little bit the course and compare to the differences to Mile Square.
Yeah, so this is a simpler course. There's a lot of twisting and turning at Mile Square. This course is basically 2 big loops for the women. The first loop is flat. The second loop has a hill. A pretty good grade. It's about an 80-meter hill. It's a pretty good pitch, but it's an easy course to follow. The start finish is on grass. There's the hill section is dirt trail, and then a lot of it is pavement. So it runs relatively fast, but I think the weather's going to be a little bit warm on Friday, so that may slow the times a little bit, but that's okay. It's all relative. And the men's course is basically the same as the women's. It's got 3 loops instead of 2. So first loop is flat, Loops 2 and 3 have the hill in it. But yeah, very simple course to follow, and it's a great spectator course as well.
Where would be the best point to go watch it? Obviously, it's a little bit of ways compared to Miles Square, but not too far, too hard or too far to find.
Right, so the best spot is really by the start-finish area on the grass. The runners are going to come through there a few times, and then there's a dry creek bed that you can kind of jog through to the other side of the course. And so you'll be able to see both sides of the loop if you're willing to make that little trek across the creek bed, which will be dry, no water you got to traverse. But yeah, just back and forth between there. And if you want to just stay on the grass on the start-finish area, that's fine as well.
Moving on then from our own event, hope to see you there. You've got a couple other events before the GSAC Championships back up in Rockland this year. What's the remainder part of the schedule for cross country this year?
Right, so we've got UC Riverside Invitational coming up on the 17th, and that's a really, really big meet. It's fun, it's super competitive, fast course. Usually the weather conditions are pretty good because those races go off really early in the morning. So we're expecting some good things at UCR, and then a couple weeks after that, I think October 8th, we're at Pomona Pitzer's Invitational. And that's a tough, challenging course. It's kind of on campus. Winds a lot. It's all pretty much dirt trail, a little bit of grass, but it's a good competitive meet as well that we're excited to do. And then we have Cal State Fullerton's meet, which is 2 weeks prior to conference, and that's on their campus. That's probably the fastest course we run all year. It's almost all pavement, a little bit of grass, but it's super fast. It's a twilight meet, so it's late afternoon, early evening. And last year, I think that meet, I think almost all of our athletes had personal best times.
I remember you saying that was a fast one.
Yeah. So, and that's a nice little tune-up race, 2 weeks prior going into conference. And we're excited about the meet schedule.
Yeah, and then you go back up to Rockland. Westmont and the Masters, it seems to be between them two, but you're third in each preseason poll. Any chance? What are the odds you sneak up and hop one of them, slide in between them?
There's always a chance. Those two teams are looking really, really strong this year, and it will be a challenge to pull off an upset there. We never rule it out. We're just going to take one day at a time and keep training hard. One day at a time, 1 week at a time, and we'll see where we're at the end of the season. But we feel good about being ranked third out of 10 teams, men and women. We feel that's a ranking that shows that we've got some strength and talent. And we'll see. We're not going to say, hey, we got to go beat Westmont or Masters. We're just going to let our training kind of take care of itself, and then we'll see what that lends to when it comes to performance at the end of the season.
And hopefully you're not looking behind you thinking one of those teams will always come up behind you, right?
That can always happen too. So if we put our best race out on the day, then I think we can be confident that we're going to be happy with the result.
Perfect. Well then, any final thoughts before you get into the season, before we see you on Friday?
I think we're good. We're just encouraging as many people as can possibly come out and support us at the home meet to be out there at Irvine Park.
And that means you. Get out Irvine Regional Park. Start times.
8:30 for the men's 8K and 9:15 for the women's 5K.
Perfect. So get there a little around 8 o'clock in the morning, get some donuts, get some coffee or whatever, healthy or unhealthy meal you want to have for breakfast. And hey, the other events, they're not going too far. Pomona Pitzer's not too far away. So make sure you keep track of cross country over the next couple months. Best of luck on your season, Coach. We'll be keeping track, and we will see you bright and early on Friday morning.
Thank you, Justin.